this very easy, simple way to manage any sort of weight loss or weight gain. Some people do struggle with it though, so it basically comes down to one key equation: calories in versus calories out. Everyone knows it, but it can be quite hard to stick on track. A lot of people just aren't able to, apply this in their regular life. A lot of people are very busy. People sometimes just don't desire having to be that intense when it comes to monitoring what they eat. And it sounds basic, but we're going to go through the basics here. So when you take in more energy than you burn, you obviously gain weight. When you take in less energy than you burn, you lose weight. And then of course, when you take in equal energy than you burn, you maintain your weight. So people try and debate it and feel like they are the exception in this rule, but I promise you, if you are gaining weight, you are over consuming calories, and that is the be all and end all of it. You aren't the one exception to the rule. Please just try and stick to this. And if your energy output is, your energy output is going to be reduced, this is something you really need to take into account for both maintaining weight and muscle mass, and if you want to continue to lose muscle mass. Like I said, it's a simple formula, but it's not always easy to stick to. So things that can be applied to your daily life that aren't necessarily weighing your food every day, but things that can affect your calorie intake are doing things such as consuming more fiber-rich vegetables to reduce the number of calories your body actually absorbs from the food. Maintaining your cardio, so we'll burn more calories of course, whether that's in the gym or home workouts, or even things such as walking the dog a bit longer than you normally would, taking the stairs, getting off a tube stop earlier, parking at the end of the car park and walking to the shop. All these things will add up day to day. Consuming more protein in your diet. Eat slowly so you can tune into your hunger and fullness signals and actually stop eating when you're satisfied, not completely stuffed. I would say that was the biggest issue in society today, that we chronically overportion our food. And you can practice things such as stopping at 80% full. It actually takes the body around 20 minutes to realize that it's full. So when you eat slower, stop at 80%, you actually find you do actually still fill up once you allow your body to regulate its own hunger. One trick that we use a lot here at Matt Roberts is to use hand portions as opposed to weighing their food. So we might say 1 cupped hand is for carbohydrates, 1 fist is the size of your protein, and then your thumb is the amount of fat. You can use this per meal. Like I say, it's something that you can use anywhere you are. You can use it at home, you can use it in restaurants. Any sort of situation that you are in, you can just use your hand to gauge you're getting the right amount of food for your body. It tends to actually lend itself quite well in terms of the calorie equivalent, because as obviously people are bigger, their hand sizes are bigger, and it does tend to apply very well to your own composition as it stands. And there's been a lot of bad press about protein and high protein meals, but there's been no substantial evidence that can prove that it is harmful in any way. And especially if you are someone that does exercise quite a lot, protein is key. Like I say, it helps you eat less without feeling so hungry. It's very satiating. Research consistently shows that protein helps you feel fuller for longer. As a result, this of course lends to helping you lose weight. It just takes longer for the body to break down, and it also helps stimulate the release of hormones in the gut that help you feel fuller longer. When you don't eat enough protein, our bodies tend to plunder it from elsewhere, so like our muscles might take the brunt of it, and you start to reduce your muscle mass. And a high protein diet also in turn maximizes muscle protein synthesis, which will be very important for muscle gain and also just muscle retention if you do find that you are going to go through a slightly less active period of your life. As a general rule of thumb, we normally say the right amount of protein for each person is about 0.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Obviously there's many factors such as age, gender, body composition, your general goals, but like I say, you can either go by this or you could just go by the fifth of protein rule that we spoke about earlier. In the current climate, we might be starting to delve more in towards unperishables, but whole foods are always a good choice. And as food processing increases, nutrient density tends to decrease. Sugar, sodium, unhealthy fats, unrefined starch, things of this nature are things that we just do not want to be ingesting a great proportion in our diet. We are human and we will have these things that contribute to our diet, but trying to reduce them, especially when you're trying to remain as healthy as possible, is going to be crucial. And it contributes itself to reducing the chance of things like heart disease, cancer, depression, stroke, blood pressure is affected by the type of food you choose, type 2 diabetes, some neurodegenerative diseases. I mean, honestly, the list is endless in terms of how whole foods can contribute to your general health and not just your composition. I mean, but they also do tend to have fewer calories per serving than highly processed refined foods. So like mentioned before, they reduce disease risk, loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, fiber, nutrients, everything that's going to boost your immune system, keep you regular, keep you ticking over, just keeping you strong, fit and able. And they also then lend to helping you control your weight fluctuations. So due to their fiber and water content, helps you fill up longer on fewer calories. No one fruit or veggie is king. So rather than trying to stick to one magic superfood like blueberries every single day, just try and have the greatest variety you can. Try and have as many colors as possible. Each different color just represents different nutrients, and just try and really broaden your horizons in terms of fruit consumption and vegetable consumption. I know fruit is somewhat perishable, which might be a concern, but you can freeze a lot of fruit. You can freeze grapes, you can freeze banana, and even things like banana, when they start to brown and soften, can still be used for things like shakes. If you're doing any sort of baking, you can still use a brown banana. So really just try and get as much of that in as possible. Sleep affects what you eat, and people don't realize that, as well as your overall health. Being a personal trainer myself, one issue that pops up a lot when dealing with very busy, highly successful clients is that they just do not prioritize their sleep at all. It's the last thing on their mind, and society almost glorifies the no sleep culture, and sleep is for losers and people should push through, and it's just really not the case. It will catch up with you. If you're sleeping for like 5 or 6 hours as opposed to 7 or 8, you just keep your body in a chronically sleep-deprived state, impairing your body's ability to regulate all sorts of things like key hormones that can trigger hunger, hormones that take longer to make you feel full, and perception of food seem more pleasurable. So the end result is just you can't keep away from all those trigger foods, the cookies late at night, any sort of sweets, any high calorie, low nutrient denser food is what you're going to desire, and it can come down to just your lack of sleep habits and sleep routine. Your exercise is less effective, you move less on the whole. The body is very smart in its way of reducing your natural movement when you are undernourished. So you will find that your body regulates, your metabolism will slow to accommodate the lack of movement, and you can stagnate even though you feel like you're eating less. And on average, sleep-deprived people tend to eat at least 300 calories per day extra than people who do get enough sleep. And each year, when nearly 1.5 billion people lose an hour of sleep due to the clock change, the rate of heart attack actually jumped the next day. So please, please prioritize your sleep.